actually talk about how you feel about doing this?
I feel kind of crazy. I didn't go to sleep last night, really, so. But this is super nice.
Talk a little bit about what your style says about you.
I go into a lot of buildings just to explore, and a lot of people will leave like big attics full of clothes and that are just preserved in time, and it's like kind of finding this like treasure trove of somebody else's cool history. I know where everything I got came from, but I have a horrible time remembering people's names. You know, it's like I have this very like tactile, physical thing memory, and everything is like super precious to me in different ways.
Can you talk about assumptions about yourself that you feel that other people have about you based on your style?
Mostly it's pretty positive. A lot of people come up to me and talk to me all the time. I don't ever get dressed up for anybody else.
Where do you get that sense of freedom?
I don't know. I've just been really self-reliant my whole life. I didn't so much have like a father figure around, and my mom kind of had her hands full.
Can you talk about the biggest struggle that you've had in your life and how you have turned that into a strength?
Just not having a father figure around, like because of hard drugs and alcohol, having that same like kind of abusive relationship energy be a constant in my life since then. My dad was in jail most of my life, in and out, and I would only get updates, so I've just somehow, for some reason, been attracted to those same kind of people with like extreme adventure and love and growing, but then also the heartbreak is so intense. Like that has been like a very recent pain, and then just growing up with no father figure. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Don't worry.
Just,
take your time, whatever.
I don't know, it's kind of like shaped. It's like just made me draw closer to these people that are like in pain. Sorry, I need to breathe for a second.
Was he abusive to you?
Just like mentally, like having this person that's supposed to be like your blood just not being there. Abandonment thing where I've like had lots of like relationships that have been pretty toxic but not left them because of not wanting to be like lose that, you know? It's just been this like chase, I feel like, sort of.
Is there one relationship in particular?
Like it made me the person that I am. Like opening me up to like really incredible worlds for 4 years, but then you can't just like get that for free. Losing homes and almost dying in fires with friends. Like this year has been really hard.
What have been sort of low points in these relationships, like abusive relationships, and like what changes your mind to move on?
I was in a relationship that I went back to 3 times. When the relationship became like verbally and mentally abusive, not physically, but I didn't know what to do, and I started cutting. Even though I didn't ever show it to him, I wanted him to like find it and change, and for the like trauma to dissipate somehow, and it to just like solve this thing, because it's like, oh, it's hurting you. And I didn't want to die, ever. I had to get that sadness out of me somehow. And because I had like weird fashion, like nobody ever questioned like, why do you have a cut-off sock on your arm that has stripes? You know, it was just like fashion. I used to be very conscious, and now I've like kind of just owned it, and it's just another like piece of me. Like all of my scars are pieces of me, and I like know where they came from, and it's either an adventure or this thing that hasn't killed me. So it's like I'm stronger by it. Every so often, like yesterday actually, a friend of mine was like, oh, That I used to do that too. It's but it's not like a sad thing anymore. It's just like, oh, that's another thing that we're similar in. I'm not alone in doing this, and I've slowly met more people that like maybe had to do that to like get through something. And that's the only thing it was for me, was I just had to get through this really hard time where I felt very alone.
Can you talk about any insecurities that you've had growing up, or about your body in any way?
I definitely in no way feel like this anymore, but with my father, I kind of just related the dark side of, my dad is Filipino, so like I kind of just, when I was very young, related the darkness in my skin to like that being fucked up. And I was also one of the only brown kids. Like most of my friends were white. I love the color of my skin now, like I love people not having any idea of what I am everywhere I travel. I think it's like really interesting when people think you're from their region and are confused. They're like, what are you? All of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're in a better place with your dad. For
He's
yourself.
kind of unreachable, but
Inside.
he's become sober and actually like tries now. I think he like realized that he like lost a huge chunk of his children growing up, so that was a pretty big realization that like, oh wait, I have family and I don't know them. It's better, but I like don't know where he is. And like I've just gone through so much that I'm like, I don't even hold anything against you. I know you've had a crazy life. I like kind of just forgive you kind of thing.
You do, that's amazing.
But I haven't even told him that, but I think it's just like too much has happened and life's too short, and the people that are your blood are your blood.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
When somebody that I really look up to puts me down. It's actually Moo. It's like,
what do you love the most about your body?
my hands. They are the best thing ever. And
Why?
because they are so strong and powerful, and I've done so many projects and built and fixed so many things with them, I would be lost and useless without them. A pile.
What advice would you give to your 12-year-old self?
I don't know if I would give that much advice, because all of the stupid things I did taught me lessons. Trying to affect my dad in a way that he would not leave. I don't know. I just feel like it's all cheating, because I had to do hard things and like get your heart broken. But maybe just that when your heart's broken, it will heal. And you'll find more love and new love, and it'll just get better. You can't just have highs all the time. Like you wouldn't have any perspective. You wouldn't appreciate it. I don't want everything. I want to earn it. Like I don't want to be happy constantly. I need to cry and like feel horrible, so that the next day I can wake up and like be like, this day is going to be the opposite.
Okay. So last question. Can you talk about why and respond to the quote, why in your body is it a good place to be?
Because my body is seen everything, and every scar I'm like completely proud of and earned. And it's like a visual journal of like all the adventures I've ever had and will keep having.
It's brought you here.
It's everything.
It's good. Thank you so much. That was like incredibly beautiful.
Sorry, I like cried.
Everyone
I would like
does.
not.
How do you feel?
I feel awesome. Like, wish I wasn't leaving New York so soon, in a few hours.